Hello Galactic family. When we see many challenging things occurring around the world, it is obvious that this is a very confusing and sometimes scary time. In many cases, it seems that no matter how hard we try, things seem to be getting worse. I know it is very discouraging and many people seem desperate and helpless when faced with all the adversity that occurs on this planet. But the good news is that despite outward appearances, things are not getting any worse, quite the contrary. This phenomenon is happening because there is an unprecedented awakening taking place in the hearts and minds of humanity. People everywhere are beginning to remember that they are not just their fragmented, fear-based human ego. They are a beloved son or daughter of God on earth at this auspicious moment, for a reason. Adversity solutions. There is a powerful stirring occurring in the divinity of each person's heart. This is leading people to remember that they have an important mission to fulfill and that they have come to earth to perform a critical facet of the revelation of the divine plan, of themselves and of humanity. Some people may not remember the details of their mission on a conscious level, but the inspiration in their heart is leading them to internalize for answers. When we internalize for answers, the floodgates of heaven open in response to our questions and our sincere requests. Sometimes we do not understand this because we cannot give ourselves the time to listen to the answers to the questions we are asking. However, our prayers are always heard and they are always answered. Each day the awakening that takes place at this time is literally inspiring billions of people to inward themselves to reach God or a higher power in one way or another. At every request, the light of God flows through the divinity into the heart of the person who makes the request and flows into the person, space, condition or thing to the person who is asking for God's help. The light of God penetrates into everything that conflicts with this light and propels it to the surface, so that it is healed again and transmuted to its original perfection. That's why it seems like things are getting worse. But once negativity has been healed and transmuted, the light of God will then realize the highest good of all that the person is asking for. Things just seem to be getting worse because we look at the outside world and we can easily see the horrible negativity being propelled to the surface at an amazing pace. What we do not see, however, is the incredible light of God that is driving these confusing and painful things to the surface. The important thing for us is know that this very intense purification would not be occurring if it were to do more harm than good. This accelerated purification is happening because awakened humanity is remembering that we are those who deliberately or inadvertently miscarried these painful things at some point during our earthly sojourns. And we realize that we are those who are responsible for transmuting these coarse mutations back into the light before we can co-create the lives we have wanted since our fall into separation and duality long ago. In welcoming God's divine grace and from the intervention of our I Am Presence, we all agree to experience the intensity of this purification process because we know that the faster the negativity manifests, the sooner we will be able to transmute it back the light. Then the way will be prepared, so that we can tangibly co-create the patterns of perfection for the new earth in our lives. These are the extraordinary patterns of divine love, unity, lifetime reverence, eternal peace, and God's infinite abundance. The call to the action of humanity. The wonderful thing is that this intensely accelerated influx of divine light is also raising the vibrations of humanity. This is helping people raise their heads above the negativity that manifests, to be healed. Once we have our heads above the mud puddle of our painful miscreations, our I Am Present will be able to communicate easily with us and motivate us to act. Millions of people are now hearing the call of your heart and acting. They are no longer willing to stand or to be silent in the face of adversity. Awakened people no longer feel helpless or desperate. They realize that they are not just victims of circumstances. They are co-creators of their lives. They feel empowered and know that when they join other people, their ability to change the course of history is unlimited. The evidence for this truth is the fact that women, men and children all over the world are taking to the streets and social media to protest against the disgusting things that our leaders, our corporations and people in general, are doing, some with the others, who do not reflect the fact that we are one and that there is no separation. This literally means that there is no such thing as us and them. What we do to harm a part of life, harms whole life. What we do to improve and bless a part of life, enhances all life. The time to remember this deep truth and to act from this knowledge is now. The next step. As negativity is pushed to the surface and transmuted back into the light, we must replace these discordant human erroneous creations with new earth perfection patterns that will improve all life. The beings of light from the realms of the enlightened truth have revealed that the patterns of the new earth that will have the greatest impact on the transformation of this planet from the illusion of duality and separation in reality from divine love, unity and reverence throughout life, are the inseparable patterns of eternal peace and the infinite abundance of God. According to the company of heaven, the greatest need of the hour is that awakened humanity draws these patterns from the realms of the cause, where they are pulsating in all their resplendent glory and anchoring them in the physical plane of the earth, so that they can manifest in a tangible way in the life of each person. This is a critical facet of the revelation of the divine plan for 2017. In response to the earnest appeals of millions of people, the company of heaven will enable each of us to draw the standards of eternal peace and the infinite abundance of God, of the realms of the cause in the physical plane of the earth. To begin to understand how important this phase of the divine plan is, just imagine what the outside